welcome, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. My name is Lori Weir. I'm with United Way of Greater Cincinnati. And we're thrilled to see all of you here. It's really important for the United Way really to be a part of any kind of partnership when we bring people together. We talk about the expertise in this room and really share ideas and then think about how we can scale those ideas, how we can think about where we can improve. So again, United Way's happy to host this.
So I'm super happy with what's going to go on today. We've got a lot of information, a lot of resources here. So when you walk out of the room, you will be full of things that you can do, and you can be really excited that when you go back, that you can put your project together. And if you need help, you can call me, okay? I'm out there to help you in any way I can. I'm going to turn this over to a young lady that came from the Department of Labor, a contractor, and she's going to be running the panels today, and she's going to be walking through the questions and things to find out what's going on today. And then I'll be back up here at the end. So at this time, I want to introduce the Business Development Marketing Lead for the Department of Labor. She's here. We'll turn this over to her, and she's going to start. You're in for a really good day today, so stay tuned.
Thanks, Kathy. Couldn't do this without you. So thank you so much, everybody. Like Kathy said, my name is Tina. I'm going to be running the show. Hopefully it'll go smoothly. I'm here with my project manager, James Price. We work really closely with everybody here in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana area to really get apprenticeships up and off the ground. We're really happy to have the discussion. It's a really important one to have, or to get everybody in the same place. So Kathy and Brandy, we couldn't do this without you. I mean, getting everybody to come, it's important for people to take time off their very busy schedules to do this with us. We appreciate it. We got to thank our sponsors, obviously United Way. Thank you for this awesome space. RWB Properties and Construction, thank you for a sponsorship. Outboard Personnel, thank you for all the yummy snacks. And our own company, MSG, for helping to set this up as well, so thank you. So Holly, I'm going to turn it over to you.
So this is really exciting to see everybody in this room, because this just means the conversations are starting. So very excited about that. Just want to briefly tell you what I do and what our unit does. I'll turn it over to Matt, and he can kind of continue with a little bit more of the expertise. But I'm the program administrator for Apprentice Ohio, and what that means is I am the person that gets to stamp and sign all of the registered apprenticeship programs that come through the state. So what our group does is we are the regulatory arm for the Department of Labor. Like I said, they've given us the nod to go ahead and be the person that says yes or no to a program. I don't say that we ever say no. We always try to figure out ways to make it happen. We do have requirements, though, that we must meet. So there has to be a component of on-the-job training. That's where the apprentice comes in and they get the hands-on learning for the occupation that you are trying to do an apprenticeship program for. We also require related instruction, and related instruction is just a fancy term for classroom. There's bookwork, there's some type of knowledge learning that the apprentice also gets. And the other thing that we do require is a wage increase. So throughout the program, there has to be at least one wage increase, and generally that goes along with as they're learning competencies. So if you have an apprentice in the program and they are learning a skill, generally the wages will go up. So I am going to turn it over to Apprentice Ohio's Matt Longfellow. I think he was introduced as the guru, and I would definitely back that. So here is Matt to tell you a little bit more about pre-apprenticeship.
Thank you, Holly, and thank you for everyone's kind words. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and share with you some of what we do at Apprentice Ohio with regards to pre-apprenticeship. But before I started to give you some of the great details about what we do, I'd like to see who all here is involved with education in the room. Do we have any educators? Great. All right. Who all here is involved with employers in the room? Wow, that's terrific. I love seeing employers involved. Okay, educators, you saw the hands raised. These are going to be your customers. And today, we're going to tell you about why that's important to consider your employer partners your customers. But before I do, let's talk about the basic definition of what a state-recognized pre-apprenticeship program is. It's a program designed to teach some basic technical and job readiness skills to help prepare people who participate for entry into a registered apprenticeship. So, and what we do is we connect through a partnership, pre-apprenticeship programs to register apprenticeships. And this is a great way to have an avenue from education into the workforce. So the benefits to educators out here, well, you're going to have students who are focused on a pathway to help them get into the workforce and continue their education, graduate high school, and be work ready when they're going out to find a job. Students, in my opinion, students get the most benefit out of this. So encourage your students to participate. Why? One is because it's going to help them find a pathway. It's going to help them find purpose, direction in their high school education, and it's going to prepare them for the workforce. Beyond that, here in Ohio, we have a great thing that's in place that helps them earn 12 points towards graduation. But ultimately, it's going to connect them with a quality employer who is going to help them find their feet in the workforce. And that is why it's so valuable to a student to choose to participate. The other reason is a student's not going to know what they're going to like if they haven't tried things. So it works both ways. You know, maybe they're going to choose to invest time and effort to learning something. Maybe they are going to find out they don't like it. And it's better to try it out in the beginning, and that's as valuable as it is as them investing post-secondary years into finding out a career that's going to suit them. So, but to the employers, this is ultimately going to be your source to connect with the emerging labor force to your place of employment. And a great way to do that is because you get to test drive some great student candidates and potentially bring them into your workforce. Next, there are several different ways to participate in state-recognized pre-apprenticeship, and we're talking about schools. If you're a secondary school here in Ohio, what you can do is form your own state-recognized pre-apprenticeship program. Another option you have is to join a group or hub model. Or the third choice is to participate with what we like to call, and this is really not an official term, third-party recognized pre-apprenticeships. Those are ones consisting of trade collaboratives, manufacturing collaboratives, and they're a very focused route into registered apprenticeship opportunities. Now, do you have to choose one, or can you choose all? You can choose all of those options. To increase your footprint and participation in pre-apprenticeship here in the state of Ohio, you're not limited. You can have all these options on the table for you, but I'd like to emphasize one point. Hubs are a great, participating in pre-apprenticeship through a hub is a great way to gain access to a lot of employers who can possibly accept your students into a state-recognized pre-apprenticeship. So imagine if you have 10 schools here, 15 employers here, and one hub. It makes it convenient, easy for those employers to find your future pre-apprentices. So if you have access to them in your local area, I highly recommend checking them out. They might be a great solution for you to increase your ability to get more opportunity through state-recognized pre-apprenticeship. What's nice about this is, as people complete, they earn a state credential from us here at Apprentice Ohio that says they completed a state-recognized pre-apprenticeship. And if they take that to a registered apprenticeship later on, and they say, hey, I have completed a state-recognized pre-apprenticeship, this may open doors for them to get in through direct entry, get direct interview, and other opportunities that will help them along their path to become an apprentice. And I'll go ahead and pass this off. If there are any other questions, I might be able to entertain one. No? All right, here you go. Thanks again. Oh, last bit. If you'd like to reach out and contact us, please visit apprentice.ohio.gov, and there's a question form. We'll be glad to field any questions you have. Hit us up on any of the pre-apprenticeship at jfs.ohio.gov, or just throw a question form there.
That was great. Thank you so much. So now we are going to turn to our STEAM panel. We have quite a few folks up here, and we want to have a really great discussion. Like I said, we'll just hold all the questions to the end, but we have plenty of time, I think, to have a really good conversation. So first, we're going to start with we've got sort of everybody here. So we've got our educators, our state reps, and our employers, and everyone is a stakeholder in this, and just as important, so we wanted everyone up here. So first is Chad Brigham. He is Director of Office of Work-Based Learning at Sinclair Community College. Welcome. Mark Edwards, Assistant Superintendent of Reading Community Schools. We have Mindy Robertson, Director of Teaching and Learning at Deer Park Junior and Senior High School. Corinne Hayes, Assistant Superintendent at Southwest Local Schools. Walt Tracy, founder and CEO of Urban X Private School, and Megan Reed, Industry Specialist Southwest Region. So thank you guys for sitting on our education panel. We have our state leadership, so thank you so much. We have Derek Chancellor, Southwest Ohio Regional Liaison to Office of Lieutenant Governor John Husted. Welcome, thank you so much. We have Jason coming all the way from Indiana. He's the Senior Director at Indiana Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship. Thank you so much. And we have Sarah Kreider, and she's from the Office of Employer and Apprenticeship Services in Northern Kentucky. So we've got the 3 states represented. Thank you so much. All right, and of course we can't do it with our employers. So thank you. First we have Larry Bryant. He's the president, RWB Properties Construction. Hi, welcome. We have Lamont Houston, president and CEO of Ladarius Enterprises. Thanks for being here. We have Courtney Pennington, apprenticeship manager at Synfab. Zachary Trenkamp, apprenticeship manager at Movia, and Leah Krivlin, training and development specialist at Valve. So as you guys can see, we have an amazing panel today, and we're gonna grill them. All right, so we're gonna start with our employers first, because you are really the glue that holds this all together, right? So we really wanna hear from you. So first I'm gonna put, I think, Larry and Lamont on the spot. I hope that's okay. All right. So I would love for one of you, and probably let's start with you, to tell us, how do you collaborate with schools specifically in pre-apprenticeship programs to tailor training and skill development to the needs of your company? You can turn that on.
Well, I think the first thing that we attempt to do is educate young people on the career that are available in the construction industry. Most young people don't have a clue as to what either they think they want to do or how to go about to initiate a plan to accomplish what they want to have done. So we try to, again, make them aware of the trades that are available to them and the subsequent training that is required in order to complete those career paths. And we've been very successful in doing that. We've sort of patterned our training program that way. We've been sponsoring and instituting a training program since 2017. We just got our state of Ohio approval for our apprenticeship program about 2 years ago. So we have a 12-week program that we bring young people in. Each week is a different discipline. It's about 170 hours over that 12-week period. OSHA training, boom lift, scissors lift training, and all of these tasks constitutes a certification card, if you will. So you got aerial lift platforms, gas actuated power tools, and actually drywall framing and paint. So over that 12-week period, we can provide employers a individual that has a certain skill set, unlike just a regular person off the street, and that has been successful. So again, what we try to do is educate young people that once you get these skills, you acquire the skills, you hone those skills, it's not like you're gonna wake up one morning and forget how to do this stuff, right? And you can make a great living in doing it.
Thank you so much. Lamont, do you want to add anything to that?
No.
What he said.
How do I follow that? No. Actually, us being new as a new apprenticeship program, I mean, my thought process would be the same, is to offer, let them know what we're offering in our field, and then put together, make sure that they understand what we are looking for, and then we'll let them know what we're going to deliver to them. But it's really just letting them, showing them the way in which the opportunities that they're looking for. We got a structure plan in place for them to do that, to follow.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I do want to ask, what specific strategies are you guys using as employers to successfully recruit pre-apprentices from local high schools, and how do you sort of ensure a smooth transition into these apprenticeship roles? So I'd like Zach and Courtney to take that one on, if maybe one. Yep.
Yeah. So the biggest method for us recruiting through local schools is getting as involved with many of them as I can. So any career fairs that they're hosting, try to attend as many of them as possible. Speaking to the groups as well, it's more face-to-face interaction rather than just getting a large group of employers to come in and just telling you, hey, here's my program, hope you apply. It's actually getting them involved, seeing the facilities, learning from some of our students, getting actual time to come in and speak, not just myself and the instructors, but our students that they are going through a similar situation, bringing them through for tours, going to their schools, actually speaking to them, getting some more hands-on involvement with them.
So I do participate in a lot of the same events, career fairs, things like that. I also try to get involved with any kind of events that they have in schools. An example for yesterday would be a senior transition presentation judgment. So I went in and judged their presentations, kind of critiquing, giving them professional feedback. I've also done mock interviews and things like that. In terms of preparing or making sure that the apprentices are set up for success, apprentices that join our program, we have toolkits that have basic hand tools that are trade specific so that they can start out having all that they need to complete daily tasks.
That's great, so it sounds like there's a lot of hands-on,
Yes.
things that you guys do to even get them before they even get into that.
Yes, you have to have a hammer and a tape measure your first day.
Okay, good, yeah. Thank you so much. Is there a certain way that you would measure success and impact of like a pre-apprenticeship initiative on your company's, talent pipeline and overall workforce development strategy, Leah? Are there certain sort of measures of success that you look for to ensure that this pre-apprenticeship is basically producing what you're looking for a successful apprenticeship?
Sure. So our apprenticeship program is sales engineers. So we recruit from local colleges, universities, also colleges around the U.S. And we're looking to fill the pipeline of the area of which we want to sell our product. So we have people inside that run reports on regions and potential business. And right now our focus is filling our backyard. As our president says, it's within the 5 surrounding states of Florence. We're in Florence, Kentucky. And so based on those numbers, lets us know how many people we need to recruit, how many people we need in our apprenticeship program for growth for our company, and then we recruit based on where we want to fill those positions. And that is dictated by the business, untapped business that is out there that we know about, and then also our apprentices who want to come to Balif. Our in-house training program is 1 year, then 6 months out into the field. And so we are filling to where they want to work, in a position that they want to work, and in a field and a territory in which they want to work. So we're trying to fill everything throughout the U.S. and the region. And we are a global company. And so our apprenticeship is also a program in Germany, in Mexico, and Brazil, and China. So we have a lot going on. Did that answer?
Do you have certain prerequisites?
Yeah, they need to have a prerequisite is a 4-year degree in business, engineering, marketing, those fields, because they have, if they're a sales or a business major, they need to have a technical aptitude. A lot of times the apprentices that come in with a technical aptitude, they may not have sales ability, but it's a sales training program, and so we teach them our sales method, our sales processes. So we have training weeks scheduled throughout the program for them to hone in on those skills and learn. If it's technical, we also have technical training classes on our products. So if they're on the business side, they get the technical aspect inside. If they're technical, they get the sales aspect inside. So we're covering both areas.
So with our program, we are willing to teach them all of the basics in their first year. So the only thing that from our program we're looking for is just a desire to learn. You don't have to have any kind of prerequisites coming in other than you have to be, insurance-wise, 18 years old. But other than that, you're just looking for someone who's wanting to work in the field, learn how to do the job, looking for a long-term career, looking for a company to help support them. That's what we look for.
So we just require a high school diploma and the ability to read a tape measure. We do issue a basic assessment when they first come in. It's not necessarily like a pass or a fail kind of thing.
Okay.
We're aligning a lot of those, it's outside of just skilled laborers, you know, like we're doing the teachers, nurses, but some of these programs they can actually start their sophomore year in high school if the school is able to identify the student early enough. But yeah, so track has been wildly successful. We're able to continue to grow it, but to continue to line our employers up into those programs as well.
Wonderful. And sort of going based off of that, how can, you know, state level funding, you know, best be allocated to ensure that there's equitable access to pre-apprenticeship opportunities across, you know, different communities, demographics, things like that. Obviously, we would want to include you guys in this as well. If you want to talk, you know, Sarah, maybe a little bit about what you're doing in Kentucky, and then we can.
Yeah, we have what's called KEYS funding. I don't know the acronym for that, so but KEYS funding is they're basically free money that all high school students can attain, depending on their GPA and their grades, and they can use that KEYS funding to pay for tuition and books. But what's interesting is in 2022, we actually just got KEYS funding legislation passed where they can use that for registered apprenticeship now. So they can use those KEYS money for tools, for scrubs, for uniforms. So we do see that evolve a little bit more here in Kentucky as well.
What about in you know?
Yeah, so for Indiana, we of course have our CTE funding that all of our high school programs and adult ed. In additional funding, we do have currently the ABA grant that we offer for both pre-apprenticeship and registered apprenticeship. On a state level, we have the employer training grant, which can be used for 6 months of employment. Every employer gets up to $50,000, and it's $1,000 typically for youth, and it is as much as $5,000 for adults, and those funds can often be graded. So that has been very helpful for some programs to help kind of compensate for that related instruction or that loss of production when mentoring and working with apprentices.
Wonderful, and you know, Derek.
Yeah, well, our General Assembly has an appetite to fund career tech education and these pathways, which is very fortunate. It's a priority of Lieutenant Governors and Governor's Alliance. And I mentioned career tech schools are at capacity, so we just kind of allocated part of this funding, but we're funding career tech schools, $100 million for equipment funding, so they can get the latest equipment and expand their equipment, and $200 million for construction, facility expansion. So a lot of career tech schools are having groundbreakings now and are planning them, and so. And it's open to not only career tech schools, but traditional high schools. Reading had a big announcement. That's actually where we announced the equipment grant funding was at Reading. So Mark was there and hosted that, and the governor and lieutenant governor, and Susan Whitman from our AMIP, Advanced Manufacturing Industry Partnership, our trade association for manufacturing. We're also funding a program called Tech Cred, which, just by a show of hands, how many have at least heard of Ohio Tech Cred? Okay, a lot of folks. So this will be a good refresher for everybody, but for you, those of you who haven't heard of it, it is essentially a state reimbursement program for training. So the state of Ohio will reimburse employers directly for up to $2,000 per industry recognized technology credential, and up to $30,000 per application period. And there's a new application period every other month at the end of the year. So that's up to $180,000 a year that the state of Ohio will reimburse employers for upskilling their workforce. It can be as well as a retention tool, a great recruitment tool, because it's open to prospective employees. So it works well with apprenticeship. You can stack that funding. And Tech Credit was funded for, I believe, $25.2 million in the last operating budget. So again, our General Assembly has an appetite to fund these programs and fund career tech and traditional high school expansion for career tech and career connected learning.
Thank you so much. I don't know if Matthew, you have anything to add to that?
Well, here in Ohio, what do we have? Thank you. Here in Ohio, what we like to do too is historically encourage all of our pre-apprenticeships to involve the local Ohio Beach Job Center and send down their pre-apprentices to see if they're eligible for any funds, whether that be for maybe VOA Youth or CCEP, things like that can help take to overcome barriers to entering into employment, and maybe also incentivize the employers to pursue a hire with them. But of course, a lot of our funding here in Ohio is tied to the local Ohio Beach Job Center, so that's always a big emphasis point for us when we work in Ohio with registered apprenticeships here in Ohio.
Wonderful, thank you so much. So we really appreciate all of you guys. You've been
So, as I said, I'm James Price. I'm the project manager for the Supply Chain Automation Workforce Hub. If you will go to the next slide. Okay, cool. So what are we? We are an extension of the U.S. Department of Labor. We are one of 20 intermediaries working under this program with the U.S. Department of Labor. And these are the different sectors that we offer, we are part of supply chain automation, but there are about 20 different sectors that the intermediaries are a part of. And so there are many opportunities for individuals across the United States in these different sectors. We're just one supply chain. As I always say, supply chain is basically moving anything from point A to point B. Anything that moves, anything that benefits individuals, that's the supply chain sector. If you will go to the next slide, please. All right, so these are some of the opportunities that we can help you with as far as the Supply Chain Workforce Hub, Automation Workforce Hub. So we have a very diverse team of individuals. As Dina did a great job today, I have my colleague Doreen Byers here, Kathy Metcalf, and Sheldon Strickland is a part of this hub. And so what we can do is provide opportunities for you to register your program, help you develop your RACs. And so these are just some of the things we're doing, conducting education and outreach about benefits of RACs and early in supply chain automation, supply and support the expansion of registered apprenticeship. We offer DEIA training in the field of apprenticeship. We have developed webinars on our website. So anything that we can do to help you to set up a program, we've done a lot of great things here in the state of Ohio to set up programs. So please reach out to Kathy Metcalf or Brandy Porter. They can help you to set this up. Go on to the next slide, please. All right, this is the biggie here. I have money to give away, okay? That's the big thing. So as an intermediary, after we develop your program and get you registered, we can provide $1,000 per apprentice up to a maximum of $30,000. We are accepting applications. If you have a program that you're starting to develop and you need some help with that, Kathy and Brandy can help you push that forward. And then once you get registered here in the state of Ohio, Indiana, or Kentucky, you can get an MOU with us, with MSG, and then we will be able to, once you register your program, we will be able to give you $1,000 per apprentice for a maximum of $30,000. I will say the money is there. It goes fast. I have about $400,000 to give away between now and December 15th. So please get with Kathy and Brandy and they can help you with that. Again, this is our website. Well, that's fine. I was just going to say application deadline January 15th to the 31st. Anything, this money can be used for things, but you can't use it for wages, okay? Classroom instruction, buying equipment, trainer opportunities, training equipment for apprentices, helping your students to buy the tools that they may need. If you go to the last slide, please. Randy. All right. So for more information, go to scworkforcehub.com. We ask you to subscribe to our newsletter too, because like this event will be highlighted on our newsletter. So the great things that we're doing, the great things DOL is doing, we focus on our apprentices. We put it on our social media as well as in our monthly newsletter. But please feel free to engage. And one last thing I wanted to say, I want to do a plug for JP Salsa. It's the best salsa I've ever had.
Oh, yeah. So I think, Kathy, we're at the end of our agenda. We have a couple minutes. Are there any other questions? And then I'm going to let Kathy, Brandy wrap it up.
Brandy's going to wrap it up, but Lamont, if you'll come up here, we want to give him a hand. Holly, we do not have a certificate yet, but he just recently was approved by Holly. He now has an industrial technology maintenance program. This is his first. So, I was trying to.
But it was stamped on
Yeah.
April 15th.
Yes.
I'm approved.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. Apprenticeship really works. When you look at the age group that's going into the workforce right now, it's 17 to 25 years old. That's the age group. And then you have 65-year-olds. are integrating back into the workforce due to the economy. So apprenticeships really work. It's a way to help shape a work culture. Hope y'all get their video to start running before 12 o'clock. But again, thank everybody for coming out. And thank you to our sponsors.